There's a pool.
Always wanted a pool.
Y'all ready?
You need to say something back. I can hear you. Why aren't you saying anything?
Polo!
The movie opens in 1992. The water in the pool ripples, and a toy boat emerges from within as its motor whirring. The noise wakes Rebecca, who spots the boat from her window. She rushes to her brother, Tommy, who is unwell, and tells him that she just saw his missing boat in the pool and decides to retrieve it for him. Using a leaf net, she tries to pull the boat out, but is abruptly pulled into the water. Struggling to escape, she sees her mother, Lucy, reaching for her. However, as Rebecca resurfaces, she realizes that her mother is nowhere to be seen. Just then, the pool lights start flickering and the boat resurfaces. She moves towards it, but the boat drifts forward. The moment she grabs it, she is pulled underwater once again. Then we see blurry figures of several people appear in the distance. Suddenly, Rebecca resurfaces, gasping for help, only to be dragged back in. A moment later, everything falls silent. Then we see a family is searching for a new home. The agent, Kay, recognizes Ray as a well-known baseball player. Ray admits he's focusing on recovery after an injury. Driving through a lively neighborhood, they notice children playing and families enjoying the evening. That's when they spot a house for sale. Later, Kay shows them the property. Then, Eve finds her husband Ray standing by the pool and tells him she used to be afraid of pools. Ray, on the other hand, shares that he always wanted one in his home. As their kids call for them, Eve walks away. Ray notices a baseball floating in the pool. As he reaches for it, he is suddenly pulled underwater. There, he sees flashes of his past, himself playing baseball, the crowd cheering. He resurfaces, gasping for air, and struggles to pull himself out. Just then, his family rushes to help him up, and we see him holding the baseball. Later, a doctor advises Ray and Eve to get a more accurate diagnosis for Ray. She tells him to put baseball aside for now and recommends low-impact activities like walking, yoga, or swimming. Later, Ray confides in Eve, saying he doesn't want to be the sick guy and struggles to define their life now. He suggests buying the other house, mentioning that the pool could help with water therapy. Eve admits she has always wanted a place of their own. She's tired of the kids constantly changing schools every time Ray gets traded. She just needs to know that he wants it too. Ray reassures her that he does. Then, we see the family moving into their new house. They also have a cat named Cider. As they settle in, the family works on fixing up the pool. Ray is cleaning the drain when Izzy tells him she plans to join the school's swim team. Ray encourages her, but suddenly, while cleaning, he accidentally cuts his hand, causing it to bleed. At that moment, dirty water starts gushing out of the drain. The scene then cuts to a professional they hired to fix the pool. He assures them that it will be ready for use in a week. A week later, the family enjoys the pool. Eve tosses in coins, and the kids dive to collect them. Ray walks through the water for exercise, and soon, everyone is having fun. Later that night, Eve is working when she decides to take a swim. As she dives into the pool, she notices Cider nearby, looking scared before running off. As she continues swimming, she suddenly spots a man standing by the pool, but when she resurfaces, no one is there. Just then, the pool lights flicker, and frightened, she quickly gets out and heads to the bedroom, where Ray is asleep. He wakes up as she asks if he had just been outside. He says no, he had fallen asleep. She suggests installing a pool cover and checking the pool lights, and he agrees. Meanwhile, Cider is seen on the starting block as a toy boat rises from the water and begins whirring. Cider purrs, then a growl is heard. The next morning, Elliot sees Cider's neckband in the pool. Eve consoles Elliot, assuring him that Cider will return when he's hungry. Meanwhile, Ray retrieves the neckband from the pool. Upon going inside, he notices that the wound on his hand has completely healed. It's gone without a trace. Later, the family is seen covering the pool. Just then, Eve jolts awake from a dream. She notices that Ray is not in bed and looks out the window, only to see him swimming effortlessly, like a perfectly healthy and fit person. The next day, they visit the doctor, who examines Ray and is astonished by the result. She remarks that she has never seen such a dramatic improvement in such a short span. Eve and Ray believe it's due to the new diet and water therapy. Later, Elliot asks his mom for permission to swim. She advises him not to go alone. Elliot then approaches Ray and asks if they can dive for coins together. Ray draws a smiley face on one of the coins and tells Elliot to throw it into the pool, promising to find it later. Instead, Elliot sticks the smiley coin onto a toy and starts playing with it. Just then, a coin falls into the pool. Thinking it's his dad, Elliot resurfaces, but no one is there. Curious, he puts on his swimming goggles and dives in. Suddenly, another coin drops into the water, then another and another. At that moment, he hears a child's voice saying hello, and he spots a girl near the pool. He resurfaces, but no one is there. Assuming it's his sister, Izzy, he says, "I know that's you," and dives back into the water. As he comes up, a loud thud sounds from above the starting block. We then see someone standing on it and child humming, but as he jumps to check, he finds no one there. Then, the girl's voice returns. "Hello? Can you hear me? I need help. I'm looking for my mom," Elliot asks. "Who are you?" The voice responds. "My name is Rebecca Summers. I found your toy." Elliot puts his hand in the skimmers to get his toy and notices strands of hair tangled. Suddenly, someone grabs his hand. Panicking, he yanks it free and swims back, just in time to see a figure sinking deeper into the skimmer. Terrified, he rushes to his mom, who immediately runs outside to check the pool. She asks if he's sure. Elliot insists, telling her that the girl said her name was Rebecca and that she was looking for her mother. Eve pulls Elliot's toy from the pool, and the scene cuts to her recounting the incident to Ray. Ray dismisses it, suggesting that since Elliot hasn't made any real friends here yet, he might be imagining things. "Anyway, I'm going to his practice later today," Ray says. "Maybe that will help him break the ice with other kids." He suggests Eve join him, and she agrees, also proposing a housewarming pool party. Ray likes the idea. Izzy excitedly asks if she can invite her friends, and Ray agrees. The scene then shifts to Elliot's baseball practice. He looks nervous, but Eve reassures him, "You'll do fine. Don't be scared." The coach then introduces Ray as a former Brewers third baseman, and he begins training the kids. After practice, the coach invites Ray to play. Hesitant, he agrees. He misses the first throw, then the second, and even falls. Determined, he gets up and asks for another chance. Just then, something stirs in the pool. Ray swings, and this time, he smashes the ball so hard it hits the stadium lights. The crowd erupts in cheers, and the kids are in awe. Later, Eve sees Ray relaxing in the pool from the window. The scene cuts to her, reminding the kids to be in bed by 10, while she and Ray go out for dinner. As they leave, Izzy tells Elliot that her friend Ronan from the swim team is coming over. She warns him not to tell their mom, threatening to put a Tide Pod in his fish tank if he does. Then we see Ronan and Izzy having fun playing Marco Polo in the pool, which is a game where one player, with eyes closed, tries to tag others by calling Marco, and the others respond with Polo, using sound to locate each other. After a while, Ronan sneaks out as a prank, leaving Izzy alone with her eyes closed. Suddenly, the music stops. She moves forward and a figure is seen in the pool whispering Polo. She moves toward the voice, but as she reaches for it, it vanishes. She then feels something odd in the pool and dives underwater. As she surfaces, a figure behind her whispers Polo. Thinking it's Ronan, she follows someone deeper into the pool. Suddenly, she feels stuck. Bubbles rise, and a ghostly figure emerges and grabs her leg, trying to drag her down. Panicked, she struggles free and escapes the pool. Shaken, she tells Ronan, "Something was down there. Someone grabbed me." "Were you in the pool?" Ronan insists he wasn't, suggesting her foot got caught in the pool cleaner. Hesitant, Izzy nods. "Maybe." Just then, Elliot calls out that their parents are home. Before going, he kisses her and says, "See you Saturday at the pool party." The next day, Elliot knocks on Izzy's door. He says, "I know something scared you last night. I saw how you got out of the water. He threatens to tell their parents about Ronan's visit. Izzy opens the door, insisting her leg just got caught in the pool cleaner. She says, "Things are better since we moved here. Dad is healthier. Mom is happy. Do you really want to freak them out? What makes more sense? That the pool is helping us or that it's haunted?" Elliot says. "What if it's both?" Just then, their mom enters the house and Izzy warns him to stay quiet. The scene shifts to the pool party. The coach's family arrives and their son, Ty, asks for Ray. Then Kay, the agent, shows up as the guests enjoy the party. Meanwhile, Elliot sets up a camcorder in his room to record the pool. In the kitchen, Eve, Kay, and friends chat. Suddenly, a boy's scream startles Eve, but it's just the kids having fun. Ray searches for Elliot when Coach's son, Ty, hands him a baseball, saying it took him an hour to find it last night. He signs it for him and stops him asking to play in the pool together. He lifts Ty onto his back and starts playing with other team in the pool. Meanwhile, Eve tells Kay that while they were fixing up the pool, the guy mentioned it probably hadn't been used in about 15 years. "Isn't that weird?" Kay replies. "Maybe they just weren't pool people." But later she reveals it's possible that the previous owners avoided the pool because of certain alleged events. She continues, "There were stories about a little girl who drowned here. She was a student at the school where you are an administrator. Just a tragedy, of course. Sometimes people get superstitious." Eve asks, "Was her name Rebecca?" Kay, surprised, asks, "How did you know?" Meanwhile, Ray is playing in the pool when he suddenly starts feeling strange. Slowly, he begins sinking deeper into the water. Ty calls out for him to stop, but suddenly, a black liquid seeps out from the pool drain and flows into Ray's mouth. It seems as though the demon has taken control of his body. Ray grabs Ty tightly and tries to drown him. Ty struggles, pleading for Ray to let go. Just then, Elliot notices the scene through the camera and rushes to his mother, screaming. She immediately runs outside. At that moment, Ty's dad jumps into the pool, manages to pull him out, and notices red marks on his legs. Elliot shouts, "Dad is still in the pool." As soon as they pull him out, Eve presses on his chest, and suddenly, he gasps for air, regaining consciousness. The scene then cuts to Eve yelling at Ray to leave the house. She exclaims, "There's something wrong with that pool." Ray, however, dismisses her concerns. "There's nothing wrong with it. The pool is fine. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me." Eve glares at him. "What are you talking about? You almost drowned today." Ty almost drowned. We then see them all leaving the house when suddenly Ray starts coughing violently. Eve immediately stops the car. Out of nowhere, Ray begins choking, and the next moment, we see him lying in bed. Eve is on the phone, urgently describing his condition to a doctor. She says it felt like something was attacking him from the inside. She then goes inside to Ray, and he starts pleading with her. "Let me go one more time to the pool. It feels so cool in the deep water." Determined to put an end to this, Eve makes a decision. She sets up the motor and begins draining all the water from the pool. The next day, Eve searches for Rebecca Summers in the student database. She then tells Kay it wasn't just Rebecca. There were more people who lived in that house and went missing. "I need the whole truth. At least give me the Summers family's address." We then see Eve arriving at the Summers house. An elderly woman, Lucy, opens the door. Eve introduces herself and explains that her family now lives in Lucy's old house, the one with the pool. Lucy welcomes her in and proudly tells her about her son and his achievements. Eve listens before gently asking, "Did you have a daughter as well?" Lucy replies, "No." Eve then says, "I'm not here to upset you, but I feel helpless. My husband was sick, and when we moved into that house, he started getting better. I think the pool made him better. But my kids have seen things, so have I. There's something bad in the water, isn't there?" Lucy suddenly starts coughing. Eve asks, "What happened to your daughter?" Still coughing, Lucy fills a glass of water, which overflows. She finally speaks. "Have you ever tossed a coin into a wishing well and pray? Some water is magic." She continues, "Before the house and pool, there was a spring. It grants desires, but demands a life in return. Someone has to pay so the water can keep giving, the way it gave to me. Tommy was so sick, and look at him now." Eve asks, "But what happened to Rebecca?" A flashback unfolds. Tommy wakes to Rebecca's screams. He rushes to his mother's door, but Lucy locks it. From the window, she watches Rebecca drown. In the present, Lucy says, "The water used me as a vessel to do what had to be done. But don't worry about your husband. He's the one who gets the wish. He gets his health, I got my son back. Love requires sacrifice. Eve replies, that's not love. If you get something back, it's not a sacrifice. Rebecca is still looking for you. You can help us. There has to be a way to stop this. Lucy suddenly retches. Her cannula fills with black liquid. She turns to Eve, smiling eerily. It will be over soon. The water will sleep again, and someone else will find the house. The fountain beside starts overflowing. Eve quickly grabs her bag and bolts. On the way home, Eve checks her phone, only to realize it's completely soaked and no longer working. Meanwhile, at home, black water starts gushing out of the pool drain, and Ray begins retching. Slowly, black veins appear on his body, and Demon takes over him. Later, Izzy and Elliot arrive home, calling out for their parents. When they get no response, Izzy goes to check the garage. Just then, Elliot notices ripples forming in his glass of water. At the same time, he hears the sound of cider. He places the glass on the table and steps outside to look for the cat. As soon as he leaves, the glass begins to slide on its own. As Elliot searches for cider, he hears the cat meowing and sees his shadow on a floaty in the pool. Cautiously, Elliot moves forward on the starting block. Suddenly, the pool cover's lever starts rolling on its own. As he reaches for the floaty, he realizes that cider isn't actually there. Instead, a ghost manifests, inflating the floaty, and Elliot loses his balance, falling into the pool. The pool cover starts closing on its own. Just as Izzy steps outside, the glass falls from the table. She immediately tries to turn the lever back, but it pushes her away. At that moment, Eve arrives, and both of them struggle to turn the lever. Eve kicks it and tells Izzy to call for help before diving into the pool. As Izzy runs inside, she slips on the broken glass. Meanwhile, underwater, Eve notices a black hole at the bottom of the pool. She resurfaces, ties a long pipe to a rod, grabs a flashlight, and dives again. Izzy, in pain, pulls a glass shard from her hand. Just then, she hears a strange noise. As she moves toward it, she suddenly sees Ray standing behind her. He says, "I've been looking for you," stepping forward. Izzy notices water on the floor, and Ray vanishes. Terrified, she yells, "I'm calling for help!" But suddenly, Ray reappears and strikes her hard. Izzy tries to run, but Ray grabs her by the hair and drags her. She pushes back, breaking free as strands of her hair remain in his grip. As she escapes, Ray whispers, "Marco." Meanwhile, Eve swims deeper into the water, but the pipe gets stuck. She removes it and moves further, spotting Elliot. She reaches him, grabs hold of him, and begins swimming upward. Suddenly, multiple ghosts appear, trying to stop her. She loses her flashlight as the spirits continue haunting her. Izzy, meanwhile, screams for help and hides in the garage. Suddenly, the TV turns on, startling her. It shuts off, and Ray appears before her. She screams and runs. Eve struggles to find a way out of the pool. Just then, she sees Rebecca nearby. Rebecca extends her hand, revealing a smiley-marked coin. It floats, guiding Eve to an exit. She follows it and resurfaces. Ray tells Izzy, "Why don't you stay? It'll be over soon," and leaves. She grabs his baseball bat. Outside, Eve tries to wake Elliot when Ray suddenly appears behind her. He says, "Love requires sacrifices." Eve pleads, "We need to get Elliot to a hospital." Ray suddenly grabs Eve by the throat, saying, "The water chose Elliot." Just then, Izzy strikes his legs with the bat, hitting repeatedly, and flashes of old memories flood Ray's mind. Elliot's voice echoes, "Dad, something has you. You have to fight it." Eve desperately pleads with him to come back. Ray chokes, vomits black liquid as he regains his senses. Just then, Elliot starts coughing. Black water starts seeping out of the pool drain again, and Ray notices it. Suddenly, Elliot starts choking, black veins appearing on his skin. Ray, realizing what must be done, mutters, "Someone has to pay." He turns around, steps into the water, and says, "Don't look back." Then, he disappears into the depths as the pool consumes him. Elliot vomits out the black liquid and breathes normally again. He asks, "Where's Dad?" And the house falls into eerie silence. A few days later, Eve hands Elliot the smiley coin and says, "We can still sell this house and move anywhere." Elliot replies, "But then it's just going to happen to someone else." Izzy adds, "Dad wouldn't want that." In the final scene, they watch as workers seal off the pool, filling it with soil, and the movie ends. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a scare. Until next time, stay spooky.